Hi everybody, welcome to North Star Knife Reviews. Today we're going to take a look at a couple of knives from a brand that you may not be familiar with. Now, if you've ever gone on Amazon or something like that, seen knives that are pretty inexpensive and you wonder, are they any good? Well, today we're going to take a look at a couple of those kind of knives. These are Grandway. Grandway is a company that's out of the Ukraine, although the knives themselves are made in China. We're going to talk briefly about this one, the 5058, and then spend a little more time on one that I actually really like. This one is the FB0120. FB0120. Let's move that one out of the way a second. Just briefly talk about this one. This is a 5-inch lockback hunter. Obviously, like many of them, owes a debt to the Buck 110. This runs about $11. And now, let me talk about Grandway just briefly. I've had in hand about 3 or 4 of the Grandway fixed blades, and I've had about half a dozen of the folders. The fixed blades, I would not recommend. Every one that I've had has appeared, and I've not cut the handle open, but it appears that they are hollow handles. It echoes when you tap it. It feels very light. I think they're hollow. At least they certainly seem to be, and that doesn't bode well in my mind for having a knife that's going to hold up very well, at least for a fixed blade. So I'm not recommending any of the Grandway fixed blades. The folders have been a mixed bag. These two, I think, are probably worth the money. This one, I think maybe certainly worth the money. And then this one, I actually really like, and I think this is probably a pretty good buy. Let's talk about this first. All right, just briefly. Again, say 5-inch lockback hunter, wooden handles, brass pins. Fit and finish on this is okay, not great. Certainly not the level of a Buck 110, but again, it's about $11. It is made of 440C, so I don't know how good the heat treat on this is. That can always have a big impact on how well it functions. But in the limited time I've had it, it does seem to work reasonably well. No lock rock, blade play, anything like that. It locks up very well. You can see again, wooden handles, not too bad looking. The blade clip point, all right, about a little over 4 inches, slightly over 4 inches of blade, and then the handle is a 5-inch handle. So we're talking right about a 9-inch knife when you get it open. You can see it's a little wider and a little more pronounced clip than the Buck 110 would be. I'm afraid I don't have my 110 with me right now, so I can't compare it. But this, certainly a Buck 110 would be my first choice, but the price on a classic 110 is about $50, $55. You can get a Buck LT for $20, $25. But again, if you like the wooden handle, if you really want a 5-inch lockback hunter, you don't have a lot of money, this might be one that's worth checking out for $11. Okay. Now, moving on, this knife I actually like quite a bit, and I wasn't really expecting to. This is a 2-bladed knife from Grandway. All right. The closed length on this is about 4.5 inches if you measure it this way. If you want to sort of get flat, I suppose about a 4-inch. So I would call it probably a 4-inch lockback. You can see it's got wooden handles. They appear to be a stabilized wood. Looks like there's resin in there. You got the stainless steel pins, which actually are just, you can feel them slightly, but they're pretty good. Stainless steel bolsters. The fit and finish on this one is actually pretty good, surprisingly so. You can see there are 2 blades. Let's take a look at the secondary blade on this first. You can see it's sort of a unique looking blade. You've got the cap lifter here, and then you have a bird's beak blade, although it's not sharpened like a normal blade. It has a chisel grind, and it's not cutting sharp. But what this, I've found this good for, is opening packages so you don't have to get tape and things like that on your main blade. And it works quite well for that. Also good for scraping some things. And again, you have the cap lifter that can be useful. Now this blade is just a slip joint. The primary blade, however, is a lockback. And I think this is an attractive looking knife. Okay? You've got the primary blade is about 3.5 inches drop point. You can see it says Way and then 440C. So 440C, you know, is a decent budget steel. You know, back in the 80s, 440C was top of the line. And I still like it. I think it's got a good combination of price, corrosion resistance, ease of sharpening, and edge retention. You know, it's not great at any of those, but it's really pretty good at all of them. And so it's a good combination of things in my mind. Nail neck on it, pretty comfortable in hand. The little area right here sort of operates as a finger choil. Now, this will, I think, produce a hot spot if you're working for an extended period, but for limited use, it really fits sort of into the crease of your fingers here and isn't too bad. I did not expect to like this knife as much as I do, and I've been carrying it a fair amount. I think this was $10.80. And at that price, I think it's definitely worthwhile. Again, you know, I wouldn't recommend the Way fixed blades. Most of the folders have been okay. This one, I think, is worthwhile if you're in the market for a hunter and don't have a lot of money. But this one, I think, is a really good buy. And I like it. I've been carrying it. Hope you found all this interesting. Maybe you want to check out Way on Amazon. I don't know if you can get them anywhere else, but I know you can get them there. Have a good day. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe. I will catch you next time.